Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel, US Presidential Election Predictions. As a former consultant, I wanted to create this YouTube channel to provide a different view on the possible outcomes of the US presidential election. The election is only 5 days away, and I'm going to provide you with a little mini-series with 4 different videos that talk about different election outcomes. The first will be how Joe Biden can win this election. The second will be how Donald Trump can realistically win this election. The third will be how there can be a realistic tie in the Electoral College come November 3rd. And last but not least, we will talk about how Donald Trump can lose the election and still remain president. Now, this is something that's been in the news quite a bit lately, but Bill Maher has been talking about this for years and finally being taken more seriously. There's probably more avenues that Donald Trump could lose and still win the election than people might think exists. So we're going to focus on that in the last video of this series. This first video is really going to focus on how Biden can realistically win the election. And our next video will be how Donald Trump can realistically win the election. Before we start, what you're looking at here is our map that we're going to use in all of our videos. Those that are blue, solidly blue, are those states that we predict are going to be solidly Democratic. Those light blue ones are leaning Democratic. Yellow ones are battleground or toss-up states. The light pink or light red color is states that are leaning Republican, and that solid red color are the states that we believe are solidly Republican. So before we start, we're going to take a quick look here at some of the other predictions out there. First, starting with CNN, and this is their map. This is what they expect election day to be. And as you can see at the very top here, we've got Joe Biden with 290 electoral votes. He only needs 270 to win, and Donald Trump at 163, with about 85, as you see here in yellow, being battleground states. So when we take a look at this map, we have some stark differences here. They have a lot of leaning blue states that we have as toss-ups or as battleground states. That includes Arizona, Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, Ohio, Iowa, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, New Hampshire, and the 2nd Congressional District in Nebraska. Typically, how the Electoral College works is if a certain candidate wins either the majority of the votes in that state or the plurality of votes in that state, then they win all of those electors. So it's kind of a winner-takes-all state, except for Maine and Nebraska. Maine and Nebraska have 2 electoral votes that go to whoever wins the entire state's popular vote. And then they award an elector for each congressional district in which a presidential candidate wins the popular vote. So therefore, in Maine, they have 4 electors. They have 2 congressional districts. So the 1st congressional district is solidly blue in this scenario, as you can see right down here. But the second one is currently a toss-up or a battleground. And Donald Trump actually won this in 2016. Here in Nebraska, they've got 3 congressional districts, and the 2nd congressional district in Nebraska is currently leaning Democrat. Let's take a look at 2016. What happened in 2016? As you can see, 2016 here, Arizona went to the president, Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, Iowa, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Ohio. All of these are considered toss-up this time, are states that Donald Trump won in 2016. Also, Maine's 2nd Congressional District and Nebraska's 2nd Congressional District. So if we move on, we can take a real clear politics prediction here. They have a lot more toss-up states than CNN did, and they have a few toss-up states here that we don't have in ours. For example, Nevada. We don't think that Nevada is a toss-up. We think it's a leaning Democrat, but they do have more toss-ups like Arizona, Texas, Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Wisconsin. We have Michigan and New Hampshire as toss-ups. They have them as leaning Democrat. They are currently leaning Democratic in the polls. However, I don't believe that they're as secure as some people think they are. One thing I do like, though, is that they have Minnesota as a toss-up. Minnesota was extremely close in the last election, as was Virginia. And Virginia was a bit of a surprise to me as Tim Kaine, who was Hillary Clinton's running mate, was the former governor and senator from Virginia, and it still came down very close in that state. So with all of this being said, let's go back to our map here and go through our election prediction. So this is the electoral map as we're going to use it. So we believe that Arizona is going to go Republican. There is a very contested Senate seat there, and we may very well have a Democratic senator from Arizona, but I still think overall the state is going to elect Donald Trump. It's a very conservative state, particularly in the past. Immigration is a big issue there, despite having a large Latino population or Latinx population. However, we believe that it's going to go Republican, as is Georgia and North Carolina. With that being said, that brings Donald Trump up to 205 versus Biden's 218, a little more of an even playing ground now. So once we go through these states, we're going to talk about why we think the following states are going to go for Donald Trump. We believe that Florida is going to go for Donald Trump. It's his new, he technically lives there now, as well as he spent quite a bit of time, money there, and as well as been using a lot of social media in various ways. And the Latin population in Florida is a little different than many of the other southern states that we see across the United States. There's a large Cuban population there. That's a little different in terms of its voting habits than some of the other Latin American voters across the South, especially. Also, Donald Trump won that a lot quicker than was expected on election night in 2016. I think it was Jake Tapper at CNN who was a bit surprised that Florida was called as soon as it was. So given that, that's where we're going to put those states. We also believe that Ohio is leaning Republican. It is a battleground state. No Republican has won the White House without it in recent years. It is a crucial state. It is the state that Tom Brokaw said that once he saw Karl Rove's strategy in 2004, that's when he knew that George W. Bush was going to get reelected to a second term. So it is a crucial state for Republicans. There is a lot of money being spent there. Donald Trump has spent a lot of money there. And so we believe that that's going to go Republican. However, we do believe that Joe Biden is going to carry Pennsylvania, where he's leading the polls currently. He could also take Michigan, Wisconsin, and Minnesota. If he carries these four states, he's at 274, and he would be the next president of the United States. Despite what Iowa, New Hampshire, and the 2nd Congressional District in Maine and the 2nd Congressional District in Nebraska might do. Assuming that even that Donald Trump wins both of those as he did in the previous election and wins Iowa as he did in 2016, and assuming Joe Biden perhaps wins New Hampshire, where he's leading in the polls at the moment, as well as a state that Hillary Clinton carried, that puts Joe Biden at 278 to 260. He could lose New Hampshire, and he would still win the election at 274 to 264. He could pick up the single congressional district in Maine and make it 275 to 263. At this stage, though, given this prediction the way it is, if we put New Hampshire back into Joe Biden's column here, Joe Biden cannot lose Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, or Minnesota. Otherwise, he doesn't win the presidency with 270 electoral votes. That's the end of this video. Tune into our next video on how Donald Trump can realistically win, how Joe Biden and Donald Trump can realistically tie, as well as how Donald Trump can lose the election and still be president. If you like this video and you like our other videos, please like and subscribe. Brand new channel, so you'll be one of the first. Appreciate your time and stay tuned for the next video. Thank you.